Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram.
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyev च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sanga conference call. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy name which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or to be independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the order of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move on to our next part of the session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. Before that, may I know who all joined this morning?
हरे कृष्णा वनिता गंधर्विका माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीति दासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट एंड हैप्पी पाप मोचनी एकादशी टू एवरीवन हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation. Yes, happy Ekadasi to everyone. Hari Bol.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, and all the glories to the assembled devotees. This is Manjri Lila Devidasi from Naperville, and happy Ekadashi to everyone. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Manjari Leela Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and chatting so beautifully. Welcome to the call and happy Ekadasi to you and everyone. Hari Bol. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. Sorry, Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from Sharjah. Hare Krishna. Happy Ekadashi.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your recitation. Welcome to the call.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम ऑल ग्रेस टू प्रभुपाद ऑल ग्रेस टू गुरु महाराज ऑल ग्रेस टू assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit and happy Ekadashi to you and everyone.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every single day, giving your recitation. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. My Dandavat Pranam to all the assembled devotees. Happy Ekadasi to all of you. This is Susmita from Mississauga, Canada.
Hare Krishna Sushmita Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Mataji for joining every single day, chatting so nicely. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vartana from Atlanta, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji, Danat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining and giving your assistance. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandhavika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shama Guri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Shamagauri Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining and giving your assistance. Welcome to the call Mataji. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sanga conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Baladev Prabhu. But Baladev Prabhu is going to come little late. Meanwhile, we can finish reading of Ekadasi glories for today. I'll be sharing the screen. Okay. So I request everyone to please raise hand if you would like to read it. Yeah, Shamagauri Mataji, please start Mataji.
Mataji, you're muted.
Sorry, I was reading on mute. Papa Moshani Ekadashi, Shri Yudhishthir Maharaj said, "O Supreme Lord, I have heard from you the explanation of Amalki Ekadashi, which occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Falgun, February, March, and now I wish to hear about the Ekadashi that occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Chaitra, March, April, which is its name, O Lord, and its results can one attain by observing it." The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, replied, "O best of kings, you for the benefit of everyone, I shall gladly describe to you the glories of this Ekadashi, which is known as Papamochani. The history of this Ekadashi was once narrated to the Emperor Mandhata by Lomesh Rishi. King Mandhata addressed the Rishi, "O great sage, for the benefit of all people, please tell me the name of the Ekadashi that occurs during the dark fortnight of month of Chaitra, and please explain the process for observing it. Also, please describe the benefits one gains by observing the this Ekadashi." Lomesha Rishi replied, the Ekadashi that occurs during the dark part of the month of Chaitra is named Papamochani Ekadashi. For the faithful devotee, it removes the influences of ghosts and demons. O lion.
We'll give
Srimad.
others Mataji a chance.
Okay.
Yeah. Induleka Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. O lion among men, this Ekadashi also awards the 8 perfections of life, fulfills all kinds of desires, purifies one's life of all sinful reactions, and makes a perfect person perfectly virtuous. Now please listen to a historical account concerning this Ekadashi and Chitraratha, the chief of the Gandharvas, heavenly musicians. During the spring season, in the company of heavenly dancing girls, Chitraratha once came upon a beautiful forest bursting forth with great variety of flowers. There he and the girls joined the Gandharvas and many Kinnaras, along with Lord Indra himself, the king of heavens, who was enjoying a visit there. Everyone felt there was no better garden than this forest. Many sages were also present performing their austerities and penances. The demigods particularly enjoyed visiting this celestial garden during the months of Chaitra and Vaishakha, April, May. A great sage named Medhavi resided in that forest, and the very attractive dancing girls would always attempt to seduce him. One famous girl in particular, Manju Ghosha, contrived many ways to allure the exalted Muni, but out of great respect for the sage and feat of his power, which he had attained after years and years of ascetics, she would not come very close to him. At a spot 2 miles from the stage, she pitched a tent and began singing very sweetly as she played a tambura. Cupid himself became excited when he saw and heard her perform so nicely and smelled the fragrance of her sandalwood paste unguent. He
Thank
remembered.
you, Mataji.
Yeah, okay, Mataji.
Manjari Leela Mataji. He
Hare
remembered.
Krishna. He remembered his own unfortunate experience with Lord Shiva and decided to take revenge by seducing Medhavi. See footnote 1. Using the eyebrows of Manju Ghosha as a bow, her glances as a bowstring, her eyes as arrows, and her breast as a target, Cupid approached Medhavi in order to tempt him to break his trance and his vows. In other words, Cupid engaged Manju Ghosha as his assistant, and when she looked at the powerful and attractive young sage, she also became agitated by lust. Seeing that he was highly intelligent and learned, wearing a clean white brahmana's thread draped across his shoulder, holding a sannyasi staff, and sitting handsomely in the ashram of the Chavana Rishi, Manju Ghosha came before him. She began to sing seductively, and the small bells of her belt and around her ankles, together with the bangles on her wrists, produced a delightful musical symphony. The sage Medhavi was enchanted. He understood that this beautiful young woman desired union with him, and at that instant Cupid increased his attraction for Manju Ghosha by releasing his powerful weapons of taste, touch, sight, smell, and sound. Slowly Manju Ghosha approached Medhavi, her bodily movement and sweet glances attracting him. She gracefully put her tambura down and embraced the sage with her 2 arms, just as a creeper winds itself around a strong tree. Captivated, Medhavi gave up his meditation and decided to sport with her, and instantly his purity of heart and mind abandoned him. Forgetting even the difference between night and day, he went away with her to sport for a long, long time. Footnote 2. Seeing that the young I can't read Mataji. Seeing that the young yogi's sanctity had become seriously eroded, Manju Ghosha decided to abandon him and return home. She said, "Oh, great one, please permit
Thank you,
me to
Mataji.
return." Thank you,
Wait,
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Hear me, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. She said, "Oh, great one, please permit me to return home." Medhavi replied, "But you have only just arrived. Oh, beautiful one, please stay with me at least until tomorrow." Fearful of the sage's yogic power, Manju Ghosha stayed with Medhavi for precisely 57 years, 9 months and 3 days. But to Medhavi, all this time seemed like a moment. Again, she asked him, "Please permit me to leave." Medhavi replied, "Oh, dear one, listen to me. Stay with me for one more night, and then you may leave tomorrow morning. Just stay with me until I have performed my morning duties and chanted the sacred Gayatri mantra. Please wait until then." Manju Ghosha was still fearful of the sage's great yogic power, but she forced a smile and said, "How long will it take you to finish your morning hymns and rituals? Please be merciful and think of all the time you have already spent with me." The sage reflected on the years he had been with Manju Ghosha and then said with great astonishment, why I have spent more than 57 years with you." His eyes turned red and began to emanate sparks. He now regarded Manju Ghosha as death personified and the destroyer of his spiritual life. "You rascal woman, you have turned all the hard-earned results of my austerities to ashes." Trembling with anger, he cursed Manju Ghosha. "O sinful one, O hard-hearted, degraded one, you know only sin. May all terrible fortune be yours. O rascal woman, I curse you to become an evil hobgoblin, Pishacha." Cursed by sage Madhavi, the beautiful Manju Ghosha humbly beseeched him, "O best of the Brahmanas,
Thank you,
please be
Mataji.
merciful."
Vandana,
Thank you, Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
I
Yes,
think yes.
Mataji.
Best of the Brahmanas.
O best of the Brahmanas, please be merciful to me and revoke your curse, O great one. It is said that association with pure devotees give immediate results, but their curses take effect only after 7 days. I have been with you for 57 years, O Master, so please be kind to me. Medhavni Muni replied, O gentle lady, what can I possibly do? You have destroyed all my austerities, but even though you have done this sinful deed, I shall tell you a way you can be released from my word. In the dark fortnight of the month of Chaitra, there is an all auspicious Ekadasi that removes all one's sins. Its name is Papa Mochaya, O beautiful one. And whatever fasts on this sacred day becomes completely freed from having to take a birth in any kind of devilish form. With these words, the sage left at once for his father's ashrama. Seeing him enter the hermitage, Chayavana Muni said, O son, by acting unlawfully, you have squandered the wealth of your finances and austerities. Medhavni replied, O father, kindly relieve what atonement I must perform to remove the obnoxious sin I have incurred by privately associating with the dancing girl Manju Ghosha. Chayavana Muni answered, Dear son, you must fast on Papamochana Ekadasi, which occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Chaitra. It eradicates all sins, no matter how grievous they may be. Medhavni followed his father's advice and fasted on Papamochani Ekadasi. Thus all his sins were destroyed and he again became filled with excellent merit. Similarly, Manjughosha observed the same fast and became free from all hobgoblin curse. Ascending once again to the heavenly spheres, she too returned to her former position. Lamsani Rishi continued, Thus, O king, the great benefit of fasting on Papamochani Ekadasi is whatever does so with faith and devotion will have all his sins completely destroyed. O Krishna concluded, O King Yudhishthira, whoever reads or hears about Papamochani Ekadasi obtain the very same merit he would get it donated 1,000 of cows in charity, and he also nullifies the sinful reaction he may incur by killing a Brahmana. Killing a emperor through abortion, drinking liquor, or having sex with his guru's wife, such is the incalculable benefit of properly observing his holy day of Papamochani Ekadasi, which is so dear to me and so meritorious. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that's the end of the glories of the Chaitra Krishna Ekadasi or Papa Mochani Ekadasi from Bhavishya Uttara Purana. If anybody want to read the footnote also. Yeah, Harita Mataji, you can finish that one.
Prabhuji joined.
Yes, Mataji.
Oh, Prabhuji joined? Okay. Then we will.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I did not see that. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sanga once again. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hare Krishna, Baladev Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining and giving your association this early morning and on Ekadasi day and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 6th chapter, 11 to 13 verses. Prabhuji, I now hand over the call to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter 6, verses 11, 12 and 13. Katham priyaya anukampitaya sangam rahasyam ruchiram mantran सुहृत्सुतस्नेहशितः शिशूनां कलाक्षराणाम् अनुरक्तचित्तः पुत्रान् स्मरंस्ता दुहित्रविद्या भ्रातॄन् श्वश्रुवा पितरौ च दीनौ गृहान् मनोज्ञोरुपरीक्षदांश कृतिश्च कुल्या पशुभृत्यवर्गान् त्यजेत कोशश् कृदईव्यमाना कर्माणि लोभाद् अवितृप्तकामा औपस्थ्यजैवं बहुमन्यमाना कथं विरज्येत दुरन्तमोहा. Translations and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. How can a person who is most affectionate to his family, the core of his heart being always filled with their pictures, give up their association? Specifically, a wife is always very kind and sympathetic and always pleases her husband in a solitary place. Who could give up the association of such a dear and affectionate wife? Small children talk in broken language, very pleasing to hear, and their affectionate father always thinks of their sweet words. How could he give up their association? One's elderly parents and one's sons and daughters are also very dear. Our daughter is especially dear to her father, and while living at her husband's house, she is always in his mind. Who could give up that association? Aside from this, in household affairs, there are many decorated items of household furniture, and there are also animals and servants. Who could give up such comforts? The attached householder is like a silkworm, which weaves a cocoon in which it becomes imprisoned, unable to get out, simply for the satisfaction of two important senses, the genitals and a tongue. One is bound by material conditions. How can one escape? Purport. In household affairs, the first attraction is the beautiful and pleasing wife, who increases household attraction more and more. One enjoys his wife with two prominent sense organs, namely the tongue and the genitals. The wife speaks very sweetly. This is certainly an attraction. Then she prepares very palatable foods to satisfy the tongue, and when the tongue is satisfied, one gains strength in the other sense organs, especially genitals. Thus, the wife gives pleasure in sexual intercourse. Household life means sex life. Yan maithunadi grihamedi sukham hitucham. This is encouraged by the tongue. Then there are children. A baby gives pleasure by speaking sweet words in broken language. And when the sons and daughters are grown up, one becomes involved in their education and marriage. Then there are one's own father and mother to be taken care of. And also, one becomes concerned with the social atmosphere and with pleasing his brothers and sisters. A man becomes increasingly entangled in household affairs, so much so that leaving them becomes almost impossible. Thus, the household becomes griham and the kupam, a dark well into which the man has fallen. For such a man to get out is extremely difficult unless he is helped by a strong person, the spiritual master, who helps the fallen person with a strong rope of spiritual instructions. A fallen person should take advantage of this rope, and then the spiritual master or the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna will take him out of the dark well. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees for Srimad Bhagavatam class in the Bhakti Sanga group. Thank you for joining today and thank you for inviting me for this wonderful association. We are continuing our reading from this beautiful seventh canto, and the sixth chapter is Prahlad Maharaj instructions to all of us through his classmates. So we can see here this beautifully instructions which are the core of materialistic life. I was thinking that if some very senior, advanced, very aged person, I mean, if these verses which we are reading, if we portray who is speaking, generally we may come across in our mind a very person who is mature, who has seen the whole life, and he knows what is what, and then he speaks words of wisdom. Like if someone asks a layman or an outside person, please draw a picture of a sage of a person of wisdom. People will draw a very old person with some beard, white beard, and some aura on his head, giving some wisdom. But yet, very amazingly, these words are spoken by Prahlad Maharaj, who's a very small child, and he speaks such a realization about the materialistic way of life, especially speaking about the griham and the kupam, the deep dark well of materialistic married life. There is the word striya. Stri also means a woman, a wife, or also Stri means to expand. Expand means the person keeps on expanding his material property, his material wealth. In the outside world, we see that the materialistic civilization is very much geared about to gain more and more sense gratification. For that, they are doing more and more work on more money to get more sense gratification, and there is no end to the whole thing. In Krishna consciousness, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all our acharyas and gurudevs, we know that how this human form of life is very rare. Durlava manava janma, lobhiya samsare. This human birth is there for spiritual realization. So therefore, a married person in Krishna consciousness is completely different from a married person in the materialistic world outside. Both of their goal is different. The people outside, when they get married, their goal is sense gratification. But when the devotees they get married, their goal is Krishna consciousness. They come together to help each other in their Krishna consciousness to get taste for Krishna chanting of Krishna's holy name and association of devotees. The house becomes a place of worship. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur is an ideal householder. He mentions that when I come from my workplace to my home, then I see my home as entrance into Golok Vrindavan. So why he sees like that? Because in his whole life, he has practiced Krishna consciousness and he has given Krishna consciousness to his family. And therefore, the house becomes a place of worship, a place where Krishna resides. Bhavan. Bhavan means it's a Sanskrit terminology, or even in the local Hindi language, it is called as Bhavan means house. So Bhavan means Bhavan, Bhavan. Bhavan, the word Bhavan, the Bha word is Bhagavan, the place where Lord is the center, where you can enter, and the master of the whole place is Bhagavan, Lord Krishna. Therefore, it's Bhavan. However, when the Bha is not there, when Bhagavan is not a center, it becomes, remove the Bha, then it remains one. One also means forest. So a house becomes a forest where animals are staying and they're fighting with each other for their might. Might is right. I am the best. I am the one who is the owner. I am the one who has to be heard. And constantly throughout one or two generations, everyone is fighting for the ultimate gain. Who is the main proprietor? So here we can see this wonderful realization of Srila Prahlad Maharaj dawning upon us here. How the materialistic person spends his life in sense gratification. We had some verses in between also before, where Prahlad Maharaj is saying that half of one's life, the person who is in materialistic world, is wasted. 50% life is wasted. And he mentions that how the life of a materialistic person goes in vain. He struggles hard and ultimately gains nothing. आयुष्य क्षण एकोपि न स्वर्ण न labhya swarna koti bhi. Chanakya Pandit mentions Ayushya Shana Ekopi. In our Ayush, in our life, one moment also we can't get it back. Even if we give gold in return. Like we began our class today at 5. I came late, sorry for that. 5 p.m. India time. And now it's 5:11 p.m. India time. So now that 5 p.m. is gone. Even though we may have a lot of wealth, and we may ask, oh, let the watch go back, at 5 p.m. I'll pay millions of dollars. But that moment is gone. It is gone from our life. It is a past. So Ayushya Shana Ekopi na labhyate Swarna Koti bhi. So we really don't have really much time. We all see in this world people, they always say, we don't have time. Time nahi hai, right? This is a common word used. We don't have time. But actually there's a purport to that. Actually we don't have time. We may say we don't have time, but actually we don't have time, and we are not realizing that we have very less time. There are so many people in this world who have learned a lesson that they don't have time, and within a very short time they have changed their life and became great saints or realized persons. I'll tell you a story of uh, one such saint from Vrindavan. It's a very well-known person. Srila Prabhupada once mentioned about him in his conversation. He was like a predecessor before Prabhupada was there in Vrindavan many years back. So there is this Govindji temple, Radha Govind temple in Vrindavan, and of course Govind temple is Rangaji temple. So behind Rangaji temple there is a temple called as Lala Babu temple. So this belongs to one sadhu who was actually a very rich merchant in Kolkata, and he gave up everything and came and stayed in Bengal. Sorry, came and stayed in Vrindavan from Bengal and lived a life of recluse. And people gave him donations. Whatever from that, he built a temple. He got beautiful deities which just manifested for him, and that temple is famous. Prabhupada gives an example of this man, that how he was so busy earning money that his family members were always telling him that you should do some spiritual life also. But he agreed with them, but he was so busy he didn't have time for it. And somehow by Krishna's arrangement, he got a realization from an old woman whom he met once while he was climbing a boat to cross the Ganga. So he was climbing a boat. As you know, boat is quite big, and around 100, 150 people, they get into boat and they cross Ganga. Even now, this practice is very common in Kolkata, even though there are a lot of bridges now to cross, but people still we see commute on the boats. So he was climbing the boat. He was a rich man, and there was an old lady who was also going behind. And she was climbing the boat from behind, and the line was going inside the boat very slowly. So she pushed this gentleman. So he saw behind, why are you pushing me? And the lady said, Tada tadi karo, tada tadi karo. Tada tadi karo means do fast, do fast. That means walk fast, climb fast. And she mentioned life is very short. Time is less. So as soon as she mentioned this, life is short, time is short, that two words from that old lady entered directly into the heart of this Kolkata landlord. And he was pondering over it while riding on the Ganga on the boat. He was thinking what she said. She said, time is short, do fast. Time is short, do fast. And that kept ringing on his ears. When he came back home, he was a changed person. He became fully interested in Krishna conscious, and he could not stay much as a materialistic person. He gave up all his wealth and came and resided in Vrindavan, fully immersed in Krishna Bhakti. So this is the point. The time is very less. Keep moving in right direction. So actually, this world is all temporary, and we need to move ahead. One of our devotees in our ashram here, so very senior devotee. So once he went to his hometown. So his father, who is 70 plus, had settled down after a good job, retirement. They all came to home or a village, and his father was having a house. So he decided to make a very beautiful big house, very palatial house with all the savings he had. So they had built a house with like a beautiful house, and they were now thinking of what furniture we should have. This is a kitchen. The kitchen should have wood furniture or some other thing. So one of the friends of his father, who was also an old man next door, he came and said, "Well, you don't keep wood. put, instead of wood furniture, you put the stone, that is kadappa. Kadappa is one kind of granite stone available in India. So you put kadappa. So the father asked his friend, why kadappa? So he said, well, kadappa is shashwat. Shashwat means long lasting, kind of eternal, more durable. So they were discussing, oh, very nice. We should have something which is very durable, not very short lasting. And then in comes exactly that time. The Prabhuji comes inside. He greets his father, offers obeisances to his father. And father says, my dear son, you came at right time. You are a sadhu. Please tell us what is best. I am saying I should put wooden furniture. And he's saying we should put kadappa granite furniture. And he's saying kadappa is shashwat, more lasting, eternal kind of thing. And this devotee is like he's training Krishna. He said, the kadappa is shashwat, but what about all of us? We are not shashwat. We are not long lasting. So that was like it was a very heavy thing for his father. His father could not take it. He said, what is this? You are Krishna conscious. That doesn't mean that you just talk negatively. Well, life is very positive. So this devotee was mentioning that people don't understand. Life is very short. It is not some negative talk. It's a reality of life. We have very less time in this world. We don't even know how much time we have got. That's pathetic. So in this less time, if a person starts expanding his material things, his material lifestyle, expecting that he will stay for a very long life, that means he's taking a risk. And that's what Shastra is again reminding us, that we have to do our duty. But while we perform our duty, our main task is Krishna consciousness. And we should not forget that. That's important. To live a life of Krishna consciousness, do our duty, and go to the next place. That means the next body. And if we have if a practice of Krishna consciousness is very good enough, then we might as well terminate our samsara cycle and go back to Godhead. So here we can see Srila Prabhupada speaks very straight about the fallacy of materialistic family life. How a man enters into married life and gets carried away with the beauty of his wife, enjoys sense gratification, gets children, gets money, business, relatives, social atmosphere, and in that he becomes like a cocoon, a silkworm in a cocoon caught up. The silkworm makes silk out of his body, and then he gets caught up in owns the very creation of his own body, and he cannot come out of it. So Prabhupada compares this, that a materialistic person gets engaged so much into household affairs, trying to satisfy, make a big empire. In the end, he gets fully entangled in it. He can't come out of it. So this is about a materialistic family life. But for a Krishna conscious family life, the story is different. For a devotee family, the family becomes, instead of family being an obstacle in Krishna consciousness, here the family becomes very much a source of inspiration for his Krishna consciousness. The husband and wife become like together, they unite to help each other in Krishna consciousness. When the husband is down in Krishna consciousness, the wife encourages him and makes him to follow Krishna conscious tenets very nicely, reminds him of what he has heard from Guru Maharaj. Otherwise, versa, when the wife becomes very lax in Krishna consciousness, husband's nature, husband's duty to remind the wife. In this, hand in hand, they take up Krishna consciousness very, very seriously. I was hearing a talk with one devotee was mentioning that in our Krishna consciousness, we have so many beautiful acharyas, wonderful devotees, who are giving an example of how we should follow Krishna consciousness in our Varnashram. So I was mentioning that how Bhakti Thakur gave he was a wonderful role model for being a Grahastha. For Grahasthas, they can see how Bhakti Thakur, they had a big family, he had a big job, and yet he was so meticulous in utilizing his time to write books, to spread Krishna consciousness, and at the same time take care of family. His timetable is very attractive and a very wonderful way he spent his time while being a Krishna conscious devotee. So Bhakti Thakur is a example of a wonderful grahastha for us. From Bhakti Siddhanta Sarva Thakur's life, we can learn an example of how one can be a good brahmachari and then how he can be a good sannyasi. Bhakti Siddhanta Sarva Thakur was an ideal brahmachari and also ideal sannyasi as well. Then we come to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is someone whom we can very easily relate to. So from Prabhupada Lilamrit, we can see Prabhupada's entire life was very amazing for all of us to emulate. His childhood was amazing. How he was very much conscious of worshipping deities, and it also was going to college, balancing his duty, became a householder, and then he practiced Krishna consciousness. His family was not supporting his Krishna consciousness. They were okay, but they were not into Krishna consciousness. But he tolerated all of them. He executed his duty, and at a time when he understood that this can't go too long, the right time Prabhupada moved on to the next ashram, and he was in Vanaprastha ashram. His whole life was geared to spread Krishna consciousness as per the order of his spiritual master, and he struggled so much. And then he went through the whole thing, became a sannyasi. So Prabhupada's whole life is an example for all the devotees in Krishna consciousness. So we are so fortunate that we have our acharyas, predecessor acharyas, who are giving us a role model of how to practice spiritual life within this materialistic society which we are running into. So here, wonderfully, uh, we can see that there's one thing which comes up very nicely here is how a materialistic person gets entangled in family life. On the other hand, a spiritual person in family life, he gets nourished in Krishna consciousness. I remember one story, one example, not story, but one place I went to visit, and I was visiting one family of an husband and wife who were like in Krishna consciousness for 25, 30 years. Their kids also had grown up and they had got married. And they had asked me one question, Prabhuji, what to do? Our children, we nourished them as devotees. Then they grew up and eventually they got married and they are settled, but they are not practicing Krishna consciousness. They are like, they are okay, they like Krishna consciousness, but they are not serious about it. They are living a normal life. So what to do, Prabhu? Because we are both are initiate disciples of initiate devotees, and our children are not initiated. They are not practicing. What to do? So I asked them that, have you asked your spiritual master about this question? And they said, yes, we did ask. So what was his answer? So they happened to be the disciples of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So they went to meet Maharaj, and Maharaj told, when they asked this question, that Maharaj, our children are not devotees, now what to do? So Maharaj said, well, don't worry. Srila Prabhupada, his children also were not devotees. But he did not give up. He gave all of his energy to make them Krishna conscious. When they did not become Krishna conscious, his Krishna consciousness was not affected. He went on to practice Krishna consciousness and went on to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And he later said that I left few children, but I got Krishna has given me so many children. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj mentioned that even my life also said that I had a Grahastha ashram and my children are not Krishna conscious, but I kind of practice Krishna consciousness and I'm doing so much for my spiritual master's mission. So you try your best to make your kids Krishna conscious. If they don't become, that's their choice. But you continue practicing Krishna consciousness strongly and move ahead in your life and don't come back in this material world. So this is a simple thing that we would all like that our family become all Krishna conscious. We would like to see each and every people in our family take up Krishna consciousness, practice Krishna consciousness, take up initiation. That will be so joyful for us. And yet, if they don't happen, it doesn't happen to us, still we not worry because we have done our part. And we've done our part towards them as a duty, but we continue practicing our Krishna consciousness very seriously and move ahead in our life. So whether we materially outside become successful in making our family all initiated devotees or not, it doesn't matter. In our personal spiritual life, we have done our part and we move ahead in Krishna consciousness. So this is how we see Krishna conscious family life works. I was hearing a lecture of one devotee, one who was like mentioning about these beautiful points where family life, a relationship of husband and wife, how it can generate peace, how it can generate Krishna consciousness amongst them. You were saying that even though we may hear from the Shastra example of chaste and a very loyal relationship with husband and wife in Srimad Bhagavatam pages with great devotees, yet we also need to know that their relationship was great, but they also had their own challenges and they overcome those challenges. It was never that everything was cozy and rosy in their life. They went through the challenges, but they always adjusted, cooperated. In that way, the end result was good. Just like when we eat some prasadam, or some prasadam, the prasadam looks so beautiful, right? It looks so attractive and so nice, tasty to eat. But before, 1 hour or 2 hours before, that whole prasad was a raw form and vegetable form, and different sizes, shape, colors, not very attractive. And then they were cut, they were cleaned, and they were boiled and fried, whatever we do to it. And finally, the whole thing was a beautiful plate of wonderful prasadam. Look good to look at and good to eat at. So our Krishna consciousness also sometimes like those vegetables, different sizes. We can't figure out. It doesn't look like I'm so much Krishna conscious, but we just keep on working on our Krishna consciousness. Like we keep on cooking, and finally Krishna will help us to present an offering of our life to Him at His lotus feet, which will be very beautiful, a unique offering from our side to Krishna. So this devotee was mentioning a beautiful point that when husband and wife come together, it's not that every time it is going to be very good, everything will be very peaceful, and it will be always smiling. But there will be challenges also. So therefore, he said the first principle of married life is between husband and wife is husband and wife should cooperate. Cooperate means there is going to be a lot of difference of opinion. So what to do? Cooperate. And then he mentioned if one is cooperating, then married life becomes very smooth. However, in some areas, if the cooperation becomes difficult because of one's particular nature, it is very difficult to cooperate on all terms, on all things. Then the next platform is adjust. If one can't cooperate, then the next platform is to adjust and agree upon those differences. Okay, no issues. Let's adjust. Let's forget. So the next platform of peaceful or a married successful life is adjust. So first is cooperate, next is adjust. The third is if you are not able to adjust also, it's very difficult, your nature is not matching, and then whatever you say, the other party doesn't like, whatever they say, you don't like. There's always the why you spoke like this, why you ate like this, why do like this. A lot of gross differences are there. The third aspect in married life is to tolerate. That yes, I'm not like the way it is spoken, that person is speaking or writing or sitting or walking, but I tolerate for a better gain, for higher prospects. And then the fourth one is first is cooperate, adjust, third is tolerate, and fourth is ignore. But then it was told that we should not come to the point of ignore. We should always manage cooperate. If not, then adjust, maximum tolerate. So in this way, we can see that married life within Krishna consciousness is not going to be always Mangalarti, Narsingha, Tulsi Aarti, Hari Bol, and then Sandhya Aarti, Mahaprasadi Govindi. It's not going to be always like that. It's all going to be challenge, and we all have to go through different challenges. And then it is not just in married life. It is wherever there are people coming together, there is going to be a challenge of staying together. In any ashram you see, whether it's a married grahastha ashram, even brahmacharya ashram, we stay with so many devotees around us, and their natures don't match us. And we have to stay together, we have to work together, serve together Guru Maharaj, and we have to adjust, we have to cooperate, we have to tolerate. And in this way, the mission of Krishna consciousness keeps on going. So this is practical aspect where the moral principle is of very beautiful Krishna consciousness flowing like a river, but underneath there is also challenges, and we see how beautiful Krishna consciousness works with following the principles of adjusting, cooperating, adjusting, tolerance, and if not last is ignore the whole thing. So here we see in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, a materialistic person who is very much entangled or trapped with all his materialistic people, his family members around him, what is the hope for him? And Prabhupada says the only hope is shelter of Guru. If he gets shelter of his Guru, some spiritual master, he takes shelter, then there is chance of getting relief from the cycle of birth and death. So here is a very beautiful analogy of how Krishna consciousness is so simple and sublime. There is chance for everyone at all times. Someone may say, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, we should take up Krishna consciousness at the age of 5. Well, many of us come to Krishna consciousness at a very fag end of life or middle age. What to do? No matter, no problem. Wherever you come, whichever time span you come in, you take up Krishna consciousness seriously, and there is a hope for all of us. So even at time of death, if someone takes Krishna consciousness very seriously, like Ajamil did so, then there is a hope for him. So that is the power of Krishna consciousness. So here it is saying that the word here is very very important. That
Prabhuji, you're muted.
sorry, yeah. Can you hear me again? Yeah,
Yes, Prabhu.
yeah. So Sri Guru Charana Raja. See the lotus feet of Guru is compared to a boat. Why it is compared to a boat? Because this material world is called as Bhava Sagar. Bhava Sagar, the ocean of birth and death. Bhava Sagar. So what is this Bhava Sagar? It's also important analogy why this material world is called Bhava Sagar. So it is said that we all have desires. Our each desire is like a drop of water. Just like an ocean is made of so much drop of water. The collective effort of all drops of water come together makes huge ocean. Similarly, we have one drop of desire. How many desires we have got? We may feel we only 10 desires, 15 desires, but actually there are enormous desires, and our desires keep on increasing. The past desires are there, and then the current desires also, and future so many desires going to come. So all these desires come together and become a ocean, Bhava Sagar. And in that ocean, we are all drowning. So our situation is very pathetic. We are drowning in our own ocean, which is made of our material desires. And as long as those desires are there, we are going to be in this material world. Srila Prabhupada said that if you have a desire to eat a gulab jamun, you have to come back to this material world again. The next life to eat a gulab jamun. It can be so serious like that. That even for a gulab jamun, you come back and you have to take a body. So desires, so many desires, like a bhava sagar. And then when the desires are there, drowning in the ocean, then the boat comes. And the boat, the person in the boat, he puts his hand down and leans and then pulls us out. So that person who comes there is Sri Guru. He comes and sees our pitiable situation and pulls us out from the ocean of birth. So, Sri Guru Charan is only shelter for all the people who are suffering in this material world, because that's the most easy way of rescue. Krishna consciousness is very much available to all of us through the medium of Sri Guru, through our spiritual master. I was hearing a talk of Amarendra Prabhu. He was mentioning a very beautiful point that many of us always aspire to get personal association of our spiritual masters, and if possible, also service to his lotus feet. Right? Just imagine if all of our spiritual masters are there, they come to the place where we stay, and we get chance to worship his lotus feet and do service to his lotus feet, Sri Guru Charan Seva. We'll be so happy. We always look for that opportunity. I'll tell you one example. This happened to one of devotees who was my god brother. So he happened to be in Mayapur once, and this is like many years, 15 years back, and more than 15 years back, I think so. Yeah. So Jayapataka Maharaj had returned just from his tour. At time Jayapataka Maharaj was still having a very good health, and all the devotees welcomed Jayapataka Maharaj, and they told Maharaj to sit on the Vyasasan there near one hall, in the hall, and all devotees congregated, and they offered Pada Puja. That means they washed the feet of their spiritual master Jayapataka Maharaj. Jayapataka Maharaj saw Radhanath Maharaj walking by. He called him, come here. So Maharaj came in. He said, you sit next to me. They're all doing my Pad Puja. You are my God brother. Your Pad Puja also is important. So Maharaj sat down, and then the devotees also did Pad Puja of Radhanath Maharaj. And after that, what happened is everyone went away. And there's one disciple of Radhanath Maharaj who was also watching this. And then he saw that this pot full of water, which had washed the feet of Radhanath Maharaj, is lying there. And there is no one, no takers. He was excited. He ran there. He took that whole thing, but he didn't know how to because he had to give the pot back. So he was looking here and there for a bottle. He didn't find a bottle anywhere. So then he went to one local shop nearby and he said, "Can I get a bottle of water, Bisleri water?" So they gave him. He paid some money. In front of that person, the shopkeeper, he opened the bottle and threw all the water down. And the shopkeeper was surprised. What? I have never seen a customer who bought a bottle of water, opened the lid, and threw all the water down. So, Hare Krishna. So he threw all the water down, and then he used the water bottle to put all the water from that pot into the bottle. So when I was reading this verse, Shri Guru Charana, that means I was thinking that that devotee was so happy. Maybe all of us, if we get opportunity to get like this, the Pada Puja Abhishek water of our spiritual master, will be so happy. Shri Guru Charana Seva. But the most important thing, we may expect Shri Guru Charana Seva from our Guru. But we should also know that our gurus are expecting something from us also in reciprocation. What is that? While we are expecting Guru Charana Seva, they are expecting Acharan Seva from us. Guru Acharan Seva. That means we are trying to worship his lotus feet and want to get some mercy from his lotus feet. But spiritual master is giving us instruction. And through his instruction, he is asking us to follow his instruction. That's called Acharan. So while we have physical association of our spiritual masters, definitely that's a very important thing. But the most important thing, which is very practical, is to also have the Vani association of our gurus and follow it in our life. And that's very easy because that's possible for anyone and any part of the world to get Vani association. They can anytime log in, hear the Guru's Vani, and try to understand what our Guru Maharaj wants us to do in our personal spiritual life, what we should do, what we should focus on, hear him regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Seva, read Bhagavatam every day. Also Nityam Bhagavat Seva means hear the Bhagavat, Mahabhagavat's Vani in our life. And in this way what happens? We see that our personal spiritual life gets nourished. See, we are all, I call it myself, I am work in progress. That means I have not finished my task. I'm on my path to Krishna consciousness, perfection. Work in progress. In work in progress means that work should keep on going. What is that work? That work is daily, regularly chanting our rounds, a morning program, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, doing our services, and that's called work in progress. If you go to a place where there's a lot of construction happening and no one is working, and people write work in progress, you may say, what it is? You write work in progress, but no one is working there. So our spiritual life is work in progress. That means something should be seen working, something should be seen happening in our life. And that's the regular thing of morning program, chanting, hearing, reading, association of devotees and service. So here we see this beautifully, very nice example Prahlad Maharaj gives of how a materialistic person gets trapped in his life. Prabhupada uses very heavy words here, that how a materialistic husband is trapped in the association of his wife, and is satisfying her. She is satisfying him with giving good food, satisfying tongue, and then he satisfies her with his genitals. Those are very strong words, but these are very powerful words from Bhagavatam, and it shakes up everyone and wakes up everyone that yes, this is not our life. This is life of a person who is in deep ignorance. We need to come out of it, and we should be leading a life of Krishna consciousness. So we are all in Krishna consciousness geared to go back to Godhead, BTG, right? But this materialistic person also is BTG, that means belly, tongue, genitals. But we are BTG, means back to Godhead. So their path is different and our path is different. We are working on a life to go back to Godhead, back home, back to Godhead, and they are working on a life where they are busy satisfying belly, tongue, and genitals. So these are some thoughts which I thought I will share with you, and we'll pause here and we'll see if some questions are there, and any suggestions or corrections for today's class. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Nice
Krishna.
example, Prabhu. Very nice example. Throughout the class, of course, very beautiful class. But yeah, BTG, we are hoping to get there, Prabhuji. With all the anarthas, but that's all glory to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj. yeah, chanting is going on, so that will help. How was your day, Prabhu? I see some background voices and you're busy always, Prabhuji, yeah? Busy always.
Sorry, I was a little busy. I had to go for a meeting and came back.
No, that's all good, Prabhu. We actually read, meanwhile you were not there, we were reading Mahatmya, Ekadashi Mahatmya. And I was thinking a little bit of Medhavi is in all of us, and that Manju Gosha comes and disturb us. And that Guru, boat of Guru is only that is saving us. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Everything worked out perfectly. So dear devotees, if anybody has any questions, I see Prabhuji already, Vasundhara Mataji has her hand raised. Prabhu, with your permission, we'll go to the question answer session.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. Vasundhara Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. It is really great. A lot of practical insights is what we learned today. And of course, I have a family background. I'm a Gruhastha. And just couple of practical questions, challenges Gruhastha faces, especially it is a kind of, not the entire family is KC. If it is a single person in KC, right, there's a lot of adjustments that happens within the family members, right? And there are certain occasions, certain words, dialogues exchange in anger, etc., etc. It does happen. So my question was that, does these, of course, it's not that the exchange would happen just to kind of please one's what you call ego. It's basically to bring in that KC consciousness amongst the other family members also. But sometimes it goes beyond certain limits, and that's when the exchanges happen, right? So I was my question was in such cases, will the sadhakas practice in the devotional services, is it kind of get impacted because of such deliberations and exchanges, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna. It's a very nice question, very practical question. Thank you, Mataji, for asking that question. Looks like relevant to every one of us here. Yeah, I would say it's not like just for a family with where non-devotees are there. In fact, we have to work also outside. Sometimes we may have a family of Krishna conscious devotees, but how much time we spend with all of them? Morning and evening time, right? And daytime, most of us are working with non-devotees. We spend so much time outside, and they are all materialistic person with lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, and we have to work with them, tolerate them. Yeah, so yeah, tolerance is for everyone. And sometimes you find devotees, they are they're married and they are devotees, all family are devotees, but they have to now work outside somewhere else in some other state, some other country. So again, the same situation comes. So they have Krishna conscious background, but they are not kind of accessing that background regularly in their life. So this question is relevant not just for you, Mataji, but even for other devotees who are having family of devotees. Sometimes even cases of family, we have devotees who are not on the same rung of Krishna consciousness, right? We always hear about 3 types of association or 3 types of devotees, Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam Adhikari. So you find sometimes the wife is very serious. She wants to get up Mangalarti, and the husband is saying, "Oh, it's nice, you should get up Mangalarti, but let's do Mangalarti at 7 p.m., 7 a.m., why 5 a.m., why 4:30? There put challenges on that also. So there is challenges because we all are different rungs in our Krishna consciousness. It is everywhere. It is not just one life, one family. It's everywhere. The colors are different, the shades are different. Yes, so as Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj mentioned in that talk with his disciples, yes, we should practice our Krishna consciousness seriously. We should not let that go down. But at the same time, since we are staying in a particular atmosphere where we're practicing Krishna consciousness, and that atmosphere is very important for us to practice. Right? Like for example, if I ask you, Mataji, I will offer you a plate of prasadam, Rajbhog prasadam. I give you a choice. You can sit on a table with a chair and take that prasadam, or I'll put you on a merry-go-round. You know, merry-go-round goes up like that. The plate of prasadam. What do you feel is the best thing to do? Merry-go-round?
Definitely the table one, because you can honor the prasadam properly, but you don't have an option. then you will definitely take up the merry-go-round, but you have a lot of challenges there, right? Only thing is,
Yeah,
the way you honor the prasadam, you'll not have it in the same state of mind as if you were to have it on the table, right? So that
yeah.
definitely a challenge. My question was like, basically to
I'm
check the
coming to a question.
progress of the
I'm
KC
coming.
devotee, right? Uh,
I'm coming to a question. I'm coming to a question. I'm trying to build it nicely. Let's see if I don't answer a question, you can ask me the question again.
no,
So
sorry,
I'm
sorry,
saying that
Prabhuji, I didn't mean that way.
no, no,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. The atmosphere is very important where we practice our Krishna consciousness. Even though we will be very serious devotees, but if our atmosphere is not good, now Mataji, then what will happen? We will not able to practice Krishna consciousness. If the
Absolutely.
atmosphere is that the rotating wheel is there, you can't eat the Rajbhog Prasadam. You need a table, you
Absolutely.
need a chair. So therefore, sometimes we have to negotiate the atmosphere around us. And negotiating the atmosphere also means then dealing accordingly with our family members, with our colleagues, or the workplace where we have. So sometimes we have to adjust. And that adjustment could be a physical adjustment or mental adjustment just to please them, just to make them happy so that they don't disturb our Krishna consciousness and we practice our Krishna consciousness seriously. Like that. So practically we see that we try our best to make people around us Krishna conscious. Sometimes they do become, but they don't become as serious as we are, or sometimes they don't become at all, or sometimes they become agnostics. They just why you are devotee? I don't want to become devotee. Right? So we have all
Right.
kinds of challenges in this regard. So a family where not everyone is devotee, we let them do what they are doing. We look for common traits where we all match together, and then we work on those aspects. While at the same time, as a duty, like if your mother and if you are to serve your family with husband and children, in case of like that, then you do your duty properly. That they don't feel that you are a devotee and now you don't serve me properly. You are more into Krishna, Krishna, and all that. They should not feel that. Even they may feel like a little bit of it, but they should not see that happening too much. You can balance your Krishna consciousness such a way that you make them happy in their what they expected from you, and then they also give you that platform that you practice Krishna consciousness very nicely. And if this goes on for a good amount of time, then your acharan, your personal behavior, personal way of conducting Krishna consciousness also influences that them. And they also say they all many people in devotees life we see always, that people who are not devotee in their family, they said, well, I like my mother, I like my father. She or he never forced Krishna consciousness on me. They let me do what they can, but she's a good devotee. I can't become like her, but she's a good devotee. That means that particular mother or father were very much considerate to their children, to family members, and yet they did not become lax in the Krishna consciousness because the family atmosphere, they knew that the family atmosphere is very congenial for the Krishna consciousness, so they balance the family atmosphere in terms of giving space to the family members also. So it's a very big challenge, and it's not an easy thing. I can also tell you that this is like not a challenge for just one or two. It's a challenge for 99.9999999 people, right?
Then,
And
then
everyone is
how
unique
about
challenge.
one growing in the path, Prabhuji? If that's the case, like, you're always working terms, right, to get back to that kind of a state of mind where you can practice. So this goes on day in, day out, like, it's going to be kind of, very, very challenging even to progress further, right? So how does one kind of, overcome this? Is that endeavor, of course, from the sadhaka, but mercy of Krishna, because definitely he understands that, right? So how do we
Yes.
see through, Prabhuji?
Krishna sees what we are doing. Krishna sees how much efforts we are putting in. Krishna help us, right? Tesham aham samudvarta mritu samsara sagarat mavamina chivachirat partha. So Krishna is saying that I am the swift deliverer of my devotees. So Krishna is knowing, Krishna is in each and every one of our hearts, and Krishna realizes that we need this help. So Krishna will definitely arrange. All we need to be is sincere, and we need to be very much ready to get trained in Krishna consciousness. I recently was reading from Prabhupada Lilamrit, and Prabhupada was mentioning a very beautiful point, and he was addressing the same point to one congregation of devotees he was giving a class. So Prabhupada was mentioning that how when he was a young man in Scottish Churches College, so
Can't hear you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So famous director of a drama theatre came to his college and he said that I want to stage a drama, and the principal said, very nice, you are very well known, that please come with your troupe and you can do a drama in annual day function. So the drama director said, well, I don't want to bring a troupe from my side. I will pick up students from your college and train them and do a drama in annual function. So the principal agreed. And he picked up some few people. One of them was our Srila Prabhupada also. And the drama was on Panchatattva. He was doing a drama on Mahaprabhu's time. So Prabhupada became Advaita Acharya in that. So literally after a year or so, then the annual function happened and the drama took place. And Prabhupada said that when we were doing drama, we saw that the people who were sitting in the audience, they were all our friends, we know each other, they are college mates and all. But they were like not laughing, we are doing all this Mahaprabhu and Nityananda and other. They were actually crying, seeing our roles. And Prabhupada was mentioning that why people, our own people whom we always were dealing in the school and in our classes, why they were crying. The reason, they didn't understand. So they went back to the drama director and said, how can then we are all neo, we don't know much about drama, but we just did this drama on your direction and people were moved. They were crying tears. The director said, well, why it happened? Because you are not professional, but your whole actions, activities look like professional. And it happened so because of two things. And Prabhupada mentions it, that the drama director said, you all were sincere and you were ready to be trained under me. Prabhupada said the same thing. That we all are here, devotees in Krishna consciousness. You need to be sincere and ready to be trained under spiritual master. If you carry these two qualities, then you can do wonders in your Krishna consciousness. You can even affect the life of others also.
Beautiful.
So we are work in progress, and we keep trying, we keep asking. Our life is like, well, we're driving on a road. Have you traveled on a road where you have to every 10 miles stop, and even the indication is right turn, but still you need to ask someone, is it right turn, is it right, you should go this way, because it's a new path. So Krishna consciousness is also like a journey, and like you asking question now today. So it's not this is the end of the whole questions. You're going to ask the same question or some other relevant question. Devotees, and take the next turn, go take left turn, take a right turn, and this way we reach our destination. That's Krishna consciousness. Perfect question and get perfect answer.
Right. Perfect. Thank you so much. It was really a very, very insightful session, Prabhuji. Dandut pranams to you. And thanks, Balabhadra Kripa Prabhuji. Thanks for the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
The servant Mataji, I'm just trying to do my role here. No thanks to me. Thank you. You just bless me, Mataji. Prabhuji, there is Jyoti Mataji. Oh no, actually, there is Manjari Leela Mataji who has her hand raised. So we'll go first to the hand raised devotees. Hare Krishna, Manjari Leela Mataji. Danva pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you're
Sorry.
muted again.
Okay, now I'm okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Baladev Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for such a wonderful class. Very practical. And sorry for my little cough. My question to you about this is, you mentioned that the third part is in Grihastha life. First you cooperate, then you adjust, and then this tolerate, and then you don't get to the ignore part, but at least tolerate. So when we get this point of tolerate, or get to the point of tolerate, right? When some things that we just cannot adjust to, and then we have to tolerate. So at that point, how do we still keep that love service attitude with the tolerate in the back mind, right? Like we're tolerating something and it's not going to change. So at that time, that love feeling to serve them with love, it doesn't come. And eventually that is a problem. So how do we keep that with that?
Yeah. It's a very practical question. Thank you, Mataji, for asking the question. I'll try my best to answer that because I don't have much of experience in this field. But one small thing which just dawned upon me after hearing your question is very practical is that we need some uh, we need some higher taste in our Krishna consciousness, something higher to look at. Yeah, so it is not just in a regular married life. Also, we can see that when the boy and girl, even for a love marriage, also we see when they come together, they are so happy. Generally, in arranged marriage, traditional system is the girl is very feeling separation. She's crying tears. She has to go to her uh, husband's house and she has to leave her father's house. But more likely in the love marriages, what happened? The girl is waiting when to go because she has been waiting for a long time and she's happy. She may cry tears from outside, but she is just happy. So the arranged marriage or love marriage, whatever it may be, but when they come together, the initial few years are very good, and then slowly everyone looks at each other. Then they can, because now when you come close to each other, you see also the person's the other side, right? The other side which you are not seen when you are the way he behaves, the way, or maybe the way he sleeps or she sleeps, or where he eats or what she likes. So, like when we come closer to each other, we see the other side, the dark side also of the person. So there's a chance of losing the focus because all our attraction, all our love was based on external attractions. It was not based on the real thing. So the initial love also was actually very superficial in one sense. So as we see many grahasthas who are very successful in their life, it is not just that the wife is very exemplary devotee, very soft-hearted, and husband is very cooperative. It's not like that. Even for a successful married life, we find there is a lot of challenges, but somehow that they have learned to live through the challenges. In some cases, people have learned to tolerate each other. In some cases, they have learned that it's okay. We had our initial life where we had a nice way of spending each other's association, but now we have some higher prospects of higher aspects of running a family, of having a role to play in the society where we stay. So, like in case of some devotees, they feel that even though we have challenges in our life, but we will not let that challenges affect our children because they are growing and they should be just like our parents also. They had challenges, but they never opened their mouth or their challenges in front of us. They battled the challenges within themselves, but they did not let it come out. So many times we see that there is a lot of tolerance and there is a lot of perseverance, and for a higher goal, people come together, stay together, and they accept each other for the goal of a higher prospects of raising a family or setting an example also in a society outside. Sometimes you may be a leader in a society in Krishna consciousness, and it's challenges. People come and ask you, Prabhu, what to do? My wife is not cooperating with me, and what? And the Prabhu also knows, yeah, my wife was not cooperating. She's all 16 rounders initiated for like twice initiated. But he knows that, this is going to be real. It's not like everything is very rosy in everyone's married life. As I mentioned, brahmacharya ashram also is not as rosy as looks like. Everyone feels like, oh wow, these brahmacharis are coming for Mangalarti and they're dancing together, they're eating prasadam together. Wow, such a nice life. Well, it's a nice life from outside, but within there is a lot of challenges also we have to go through of living in a communal in a place which is community based, and the rules and regulations are not laid by us but by the ashram leaders. So yes, so as you mentioned that what to do in such cases when we are not able to understand how to go about, then we go for higher. What is the higher goal of our life? To serve Guru, to serve our family, our children, our relatives, our in-laws, or father, or set an example for society in general.
Yeah.
So these are some few things which I thought I'll just share with you. I'm not sure if this has answered your question, but let us see if you want to ask some more. Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering. Thank you for that. I was thinking, like, sometimes you even start thinking, right, that Krishna is trying to purify me by the partner. He's because when you have the soft heart, tolerance, and everything, you only do all these things when you have some kind of false ego in you. So that's why all these kinds of things happen. So you understand that Krishna is trying to purify you by this. But at that same time, both partners are like, they may be Krishna conscious, but then they're, as you said, they're in different levels, and everyone has different shades, right? So even understanding that, sometimes that tolerate part, with that tolerate part, we just can't serve with love at that point. Even though okay, this is just an instrument. This is just because it's also the other person is also a devotee, right? He doesn't have to be like a very advanced devotee, but he's still a devotee, whether it's starting or not starting, or like very advanced. But so we don't want to even commit this Vaishnava aparadha at that point by not serving lovingly. And at the same time, you also are tolerating. So how to like, I just don't understand how to put these things together to serve even with love. Even when you think that this is, Krishna's message, he's just being an instrument to purify my false ego.
We can give either a philosophical answer or practical answer to the question. I'll try a practical answer. Is it okay, Mataji?
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So I remember one time, I am from Radha Gopinath temple, it's called Chopati here. And I remember one time, Radhanath Maharaj invited a Prabhupada disciple couple, and they were also sitting on the Vasasan with Maharaj. And Maharaj introduced these are Prabhupada disciples. They have given their whole life for Srila Prabhupada's mission, and they're staying together for last 35 years. And it was a hurry bored to stay 35 years in the Western world. It's such a big thing. And you know what? When Maharaj gave them chance to speak, to inspire all the grahasthas there, each of them said that it took 30 years for us to understand each other, and still we are doing it. Still we are trying to do it more. So to understand, because what happens, to understand each other is not a one thing just to finish in 5 years. Sometimes people change over the years. We see the personalities, the behavior pattern, the world influences us. We just change as per the work pattern. Our hormones are changing. So sometimes a person may rate, like for example, if I'm staying in ashram, I may see my room partner, the person colleague who joined with me. I may say, he was such a nice person 5 years back. What happened to him suddenly? But now he's not. He's 5 years old. His body is not cooperating with him. He's got some special ailments in the body, so he's become a little more he becomes intolerant very easily. So I'm thinking, why is happening like that? Because he's changing. His hormones are changing. His body is changing. What is that? Yavanam jara. Dehinosmin yathade kaumaram yavanam jara. Kaumaram problems are different. Yavanam problems are different. And jara problems are different. People on the deathbed problems are different. So sometimes even after 30, 35 years, it really is very difficult to even understand each other. Want to so cooperate and then tolerate and all those things. So therefore, we need to work on the higher aspects where we all agree upon one thing and we work on that aspect. We will focus on that aspect and we will keep that as focus. Everything else will be shambles, but that's the focus for us. I'm sorry, I'm not such experienced person in this field. I'm just giving some understanding here and there based on some talks here. Hope it helps to all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dhanvat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Right.
Hare Krishna. Beautiful question, Mataji. I was laughing. I was thinking, Prabhuji, आपको शादी करना पड़ेगा. You're sitting on the table and you're talking of something, and in 5 minutes you are trying to argue with each other. But Prabhu, I realized when we talk of Krishna and when we talk of Bhagavatam and Bhagavatam, then does not happen. It only happens when we talk of kids.
Absolutely right.
Kids and family and saas, and blah 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 blah. अरे कहाँ पहुँच गए? So, sorry,
one thing good in preaching is that when you go and preach, the most important thing in preaching is you have to hear a lot and speak less.
True, Prabhu.
Thanks to hearing, I have heard so many devotees share their issues, problems, and speak little. But just by hearing, I get to know that it's not so easy.
I was just on a laughing note, Prabhuji, that you might go to, but I know, Prabhu, you go through so many. Actually, so many people who are laughing outside, but they really cry in front of course, of sadhu. You are, of course, in a sannyas ashram, so you know, Prabhuji, all the troubles, and we all know inside all the troubles are there, but we still try to enjoy it and be there and be that Manju Gosha and Madhavi the case. Hari bol. Prabhuji, there is a question from Jyoti Mataji. Mataji is
Yes, this is the
asking
last
about
question we take. Is it okay?
last
This is
question.
the last
Okay,
question.
Prabhuji.
I'm
Because
sorry,
after
I
that
have
there
to
is a
leave.
fallen soul, but I think Prabhu or Mataji has stolen my name. But yeah, Jyoti Mataji's question.
What is the question? Can someone read it for me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Question is about making spiritual master happy. So there are two parts. First, Hare Krishna, respectful
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, Balvat Prabhuji, please accept my most humble obeisances. Please ask the question of fallen soul because it's important for it, that particular person.
As you wish, Mataji. Prabhuji, let's go to the fallen soul. I am fallen soul too. So we are two fallen. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I need your help. In past few weeks, my devotion is going down very steeply without any reason. All lower modes are covering me rapidly. I don't feel devotion in my heart. I don't know why. Please instruct me. Sorry for asking irrelevant questions, but I tried myself, but unable to overcome this situation. So Prabhuji, his devotion is not there. I don't know if you go ahead, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. This is everyone's Atma Katha.
So everyone is a fallen soul.
Sometime or other, we will always face this problem, right? Maybe he or she is facing it now, but we may have faced it 6 months back, or going to face next 6 months later. Yeah, this is the world where we stay is challenging. This is material world. Material world, we're practicing spiritual life. Compatibility is not there, right? You can you mix oil and water together? You can't mix oil and water together. No matter you stir it so hard. Finally, you see oil is different, water is different. So the material life, which is geared for sense gratification, and we're trying to become Krishna conscious, it's a very impractical platform. And to achieve perfection, Krishna consciousness in this material world is actually asking too much from our own selves. So we do our best to practice Krishna consciousness, and we keep keep our focus that actually it's not possible to be fully Krishna conscious in this material world with all the desire, but we earnestly pray for Krishna to purify us and make sure that we pray to Krishna very much that this material world is, I understood Krishna is not for us. Even though I'm attached and I'm still stuck up there, but this is not for me. And Krishna, please help me to come back to you. If that prayer is very seriously strong in our life, in our heart, then we'll see Krishna will very beautifully maneuver our airplane right time and make it land in the spiritual world safely. So yeah, we all go through all these things. So while the body is suffering, we will find that as we progress in Krishna consciousness, the mind which is going all as they call go bonkers. But we'll find somehow Krishna will pull our mind towards his lotus feet, and eventually we will experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness bit by bit, and finally Krishna will pull us to the eternal realm of his spiritual kingdom. So we keep on moving, we keep on going that time. I forgot a beautiful song which was written by George Harrison. That I don't remember the script, but it's a very beautiful. I can share Shama Gauri Mataji and she can post in your group where he mentions that this will keep on happening, but we continue in our life till the time when Krishna's beautiful mercy falls upon us and picks us up. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you
so
so
beautiful,
much.
Prabhu. So beautiful, so beautiful. Certainly, Prabhu. We should chant every day 16 rounds attentively and ask Krishna, that just do whatever you want to do. And I know I'm suffering because of my own past deeds. It's nobody's else's fault. And that will only give us some relief, Prabhu. Hari Bol. Prabhuji, very beautiful class. So dear devotees, as Prabhu has to leave now, it is very late too. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, just 1 second. I have to take this important call from Shama Gauri Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very, very wonderful class and very beautiful stories as always, Prabhuji. Thank you
practical.
so much. We always love your classes with stories. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. So, dear devotees,
Srila Prabhupada.
let us pay our obeisances to Prabhuji and all the assembled Vaishnavas on the call. Can everybody unmute themselves? Yeah, Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Vancha kalpataru.
Vanchakalpataru कृपा सिंधु पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
वैष्णवेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
भागवतम की
जय।
जय।
Srila Prabhupada ji ki
जय।
jai. Grace Baladev Prabhu ji ki
Prabhuji ki
jai.
jai.
All the assembled devotees